Survival horror games are one of the most popular genres in gaming. Silent Hill, Resident Evil, upcoming titles like Death Stranding, all kinds of titles in this genre are extremely popular. Today we're going to take a look back at pretty much where it all began in gaming with survival horror. Not the very beginning, but one of the forerunners, the granddaddies. Today we're going to take a look at Capcom's masterpiece for the Famicom, released in 1989. This is Sweet Home. If you're watching this video right now, you're watching one of my first ever collabs. Thank you, Sasha, so much for allowing me to do this with you, and as she's covered for the most part, this game is based on the 1989 movie Sweet Home. Now, as my friend pretty much told you, the movie Sweet Home kicks ass through and through, and I highly recommend it. But I'm here to do my specialty, the game, Sweet Home for the Famicom. Is it as good as the movie? Definitely. It's one of the greatest role-playing games I've ever played. The game was developed by legendary Tokaru Fujiwara, who also produced Ghosts and Goblins, the insanely hard NES game. And the hardness is right here with Sweet Home, just as much as Ghosts and Goblins. By far, one of the hardest games on the Famicom, NES, any retro game. One of the hardest RPGs. It is turn-based, so if you're into old school RPGs, it's definitely for you, but it does have a little bit of different take on it. Let's check it out. Hiroshi Kurosawa, the director of the actual film Sweet Home, had an insane amount of input on the Famicom title, and that's definitely shown in some of the graphical images when this game was pretty much banned everywhere except for Japan. It's straight up old school top-down RPG glory. You can run from fights, there's special attacks, all kinds of stuff you'd expect. However, the hardness comes into play when you're only given 5 characters in your party throughout the whole game. If any of these characters die, that's it, kaput. They're done. They ain't coming back. Now, I hate when there's a game release based on the movie and it's nothing like the movie. Indiana Jones for the NES comes to mind. Man, there were just parts in that game where it just did not fit. But Sweet Home ties the plot so closely together, it's pretty much the same as the movie. And then plot, the entire game takes place in the famous mansion, where you're looking for pieces of frescoes dropped by the artist, just like in the film. You take control of 5 characters from the film crew and set out on your quest to collect all the pieces. One of the coolest things about the game that brings strategy elements into it is you can control each of the characters at any time. As soon as you select them, you're switching an overhead view directly of that character, allowing you to move freely. Certain characters have abilities that others don't and become useful in puzzle situations. And speaking of Resident Evil, it borrowed so many elements from the game that it's obvious it was influenced by the game. The Resident Evil franchise was originally meant to be the Sweet Home franchise. Well, there you have it. It's always a pleasure to play this game. I could pick it up any day. It was a fun little review to do. Thank you, Sasha, so much for allowing me to do this with you. Hopefully we can have more projects in the future, but on this episode of Hibiki History, we took a look at Sweet Home for the Famicom, one of the scariest titles of all time and one of the hardest. Hey guys, you can follow me on Twitter at the HibikiTMD. Check out the HibikiTMD Facebook group for everything retro gaming, pro wrestling podcasts, and everything in between. Thanks for watching another video, and thanks for stopping by on HibikiTMD.
Hey, what is going on?